So I have the Toronto Raptors, and I, again, have a really difficult team because Toronto is sort of defined by the fact that it has like five very good players, and they're all kind of similar to me. In years past, I always would have picked OG Anunoby, but I think too many times now he's been tabbed as like, this guy is ready to pop and just watch out. He's going to be like the Wendell Carter breakout thing for next year. I'm sure I've picked Anunoby at least each of the last two off seasons as, the guy that's going to make the leap. Still might do it again. But I can't pick him. Scottie Barnes, I think, is properly rated as one of the three best rookies, maybe the two best rookies. Super valuable. I think everyone is
Jonathan Kuminga.
not as good as, not as high a ceiling as Jonathan Kuminga. Put that in ink. I'll die on that hill. Pascal Siakam is, I think, correctly now regarded as an all-star and fringe all-NBA guy. He sort of got it back. So I had to go with Fred VanVleet, which is just makes me feel stupid because he's an all-star and I think everybody agrees he's good. I guess the case that I'm making is that I think VanVleet is Toronto's best player. I think a lot of the alphabet soup advanced metrics say that, but I won't go through all the EPM and estimated wins added and all that stuff, which kind of suggests he's an all NBA level guy, like fairly clearly this year. To me, there's a couple things that kind of do it, and one is just the sheer number of minutes that he plays. And there's immense value, especially now when nobody plays, giant chunks of minutes. Nobody touches 40 anymore, but he's up there in the 38, 36, 37 range, consistently. He shoots tons of threes, which I think is just critical to the way Toronto plays on offense, to have someone that creates the space so you have all these rangy, like 6-7 guys that can kind of get in the lane and do stuff. He has the highest matchup difficulty on the team, and this is a team with a ton of really good defensive players that are very versatile, but it's still him that takes, just by percentage, the most difficult matchup on the other team. And just going back, like, I think he was viewed as kind of a secondary guy on the title run team behind Lowry and Kawhi and Siakam. But I think just now it's clear that like he was just as big a piece on those teams as almost anybody besides Kawhi. So I don't know. I guess I just want to give him his flowers now, while admitting you could go like 15 different ways on the, or maybe more like 6 different ways on this team. I want VanVleet to be regarded as an all NBA type guy. And I'm not sure he's viewed that way.
You're right. You probably could go a bunch of different ways. If we were going to go with one of the bigger name players for the Raptors, like let's say of their top 6 guys or whatever, I probably would have went with Siakam because there still feels like there's the disconnect where there was a rush to coordinate when I had Aiden on from the Dishes and Dimes podcast a few weeks ago. We talked about how everyone just assumed after Kawhi left and his performance over that he had to be the number 1 option on a championship team. There's like real value in being able to be the number 2 or the number 3 on what would be a great title contender. And I think Pascal Siakam has had an all NBA caliber season this year. There were people that got mad. I had my MVP ladder the other day and I did not have him in my top 10. If you wanted to put him at like,
wow.
Once you get past, like, there are a lot of candidates this year, but like there's like 7 of them that need to be in there at this point, I think. And he's not one of the 7 for me. If you want to futz and fiddle with the other 3 in the top 10, that's fine. So I probably would have went with him. Chris Boucher remains underrated as well for someone who has not shot the 3 balls well this year. He did hit an escape dribble 3 the other night, though. That's Chris Boucher, off the dribble, 3-point shooter. He just brings a ton of defensive energy, and I still like the way he moves without the ball when he's tasked with doing it. And I also think when I did my redraft from his draft, I barely still had him going in the first round, but Precious Achiuwa is starting to come on for the Raptors as well. But that might be more of a case of, I'm not saying like a Caleb Martin type thing where it's this guy hadn't shown a ton. And Caleb Martin, I think, was clearly impactful at points in Charlotte. So it's not as out of left field, but this would be like the equivalent of if KZ Okpala had the Heat kept him and he all of a sudden decided like was actually good. So you probably I would have went with Boucher or Siakam, but you're right that I do feel like there's 80 different directions that you could take this team.
Yeah, I knew you'd say Boucher, so I didn't even want to bring him up. I know he's your guy.
Yeah, Chris Boucher, come on Hardwood Knocks already. We've been waiting. You and Frankie Lakina, the dream guest. The final team is the Wizards. I'm wondering if you can guess who I picked.